because in the immediate aftermath of the endgame, there will be no choice but to use silver coins as media of exchange on a retail level, because there will be no gold substitutes that are functional. And for a short period of time, we will see that ratio, and that will be the endgame bell ringing, at which point you should spend your stacks, as I've said repeatedly. We're going to go into that timeline, why I believe it is accurate. Doesn't mean that it's going to take 2 years from now, but I do believe it means that we are at most 2 years away from the final crash and the final round of inflation, which will bring the dollar as the world's chief gold substitute to its glorious end, and the reinstitution of gold and silver as money, whether by central planning or from the bottom up from the public. Either way, it's going to happen because there will be no other choice.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Man, if you're not paying attention, look at gold and silver. I mean, silver is starting to take off. Remember I told you? Just because it was stagnant for a little bit, but don't count it out. Eventually, it'll start catch up to gold. And sure enough, it's climbing up in value. Let's go ahead and get into this. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. London vault's hit by gold shortage. Yep, not surprised. Anyways, let's take a look at cryptocurrencies. Right now, you got Bitcoin at $104,641. Ethereum's at $2,481. XRP is at $2.17. Solana is at $148.53. Doge is up to 18 cents. Cardano is up to 65 cents. Chainlink is up to $13.70. Avalanche at $19.87. Stellar up to 26 cents. Shiba is up to 0.4013. Bitcoin took a little bit of a hit, but it's climbing back up there again. So gold's at $3,331. It took a $44 hit. Even so, above the $3,300 per ounce, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, but take a look at silver. Wow. $36.13 an ounce. I told you eventually it's going to take off like a bat out of hell, and it's starting to do that. Above the $35 mark for the first time in a while. Silver is at $36.13 per ounce. This Frenchie over there at Next News Network, they did a pretty good segment on talking about gold and silver that I thought you guys might be interested in. Let's take a listen.
After decades of Federal Reserve manipulation, currency debasement, and wealth theft through inflation, one state has fired the opening shot in a revolution that's sending shockwaves through Wall Street and Washington. What started as street protests 15 years ago has now become law in the Sunshine State. Patriots who remember our End the Fed rallies, who studied under Ron Paul, and who mourned Aaron Russo's warnings, your vindication has arrived. The banking cartel's century-long stranglehold on America's money is cracking. Gold and silver are back as real money. The details of this historic victory will absolutely blow your mind, so keep on watching. Florida just made history by making gold and silver legal tender, the first major state to challenge the Federal Reserve's monopoly. I sat down with Daniel Diaz, the architect behind this revolutionary law, for an exclusive interview about how they defeated the banking lobby and what this means for your financial freedom. Watch what he revealed. Our guest today helped write the most revolutionary monetary legislation in over a century, making gold and silver legal tender in Florida. And he's here to explain the mechanics of the bill and its practical application. After decades of fighting alongside Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, and the late Aaron Russo, what many thought impossible has just become a reality, and it just happened days ago. Watch.
Just hours ago signed a bill making the coins legal tender. This legislation allows but does not require their use for payments, including taxes and fees. Government entities that opt into accepting these coins must do so electronically and partner with licensed financial institutions. The bill also exempts gold and silver coins from sales tax.
And then Governor DeSantis himself announced this historic victory. Watch.
The bill I'm going to sign today is legislation that is going to allow Florida to recognize gold and silver as legal tender in our state. And we have the ability to do that under the federal Constitution. There are only 2 states that have done it thus far. They're smaller states. We are the first large state to step up and to get this done. And this is right out of the Constitution of the United States. So this legislation will authorize money services business like check cashers or PayPal to transmit and accept payment in gold and silver. That means these precious metals can start functioning like real currency again, not just investment vehicles for the wealthy. And you notice what's happened in recent weeks and months. How has gold gone down or has gold gone up? Gold's gone up big time because investors are looking at this and they're hedging against, they see the bond yields have gone up. I think they moderate a little today, but when people start seeing that, gold is a place they're going to. So it's not just an investment, it'll be something that you're going to be able to use, and it's something that is very likely to hold its value, certainly compared to fiat currency. Now, we've seen the downgrade in the credit rating over multiple administrations. We've seen a lot of problems with the DC swamp. This is our ability to give you the financial freedom to be able to protect yourself against the declining value of the dollar. And so I'm really appreciative of the legislature for doing this. I think this is something that shows Florida is continuing to lead on a lot of the issues that matter to people, and I look forward to signing this into law momentarily.
Absolutely historic moment for the people of Florida, and just really the opening shot against the Federal Reserve. Daniel, HB 999, I personally like the number 999, like 999 pure gold. I don't know if that was intentional. Maybe you can have some insight because you helped write this. It represents the culmination of decades of sound money activism. So how does it feel to finally achieve what Ron Paul and others fought so hard to accomplish?
It's extremely humbling to be a part of the movement and to be able to get this passed in Florida. I mean, we're standing on the shoulders of giants. You know, Cities for Sound Money, you know, there were people who laid the groundwork before. As you said, Aaron Russo, G. Edward Griffin, Ron Paul, and others. Edwin Vieira is one of the top legal tender experts in the country. There's two legal tender experts, Larry Hilton, who work closely with us in helping us educate the drafters of the legislation. You know, we've spent hours and weeks with the Senate staff that actually penned the law. So it's been extremely humbling to get this done in Florida, and it's bringing liberty and freedom, most importantly, economically. You know, it's I got into the sound money movement, the gold sound money movement, gold and silver, traditional hard money, about two and a half years ago. Prior to that, I was in the digital hard money, which was crypto, and prior to that, I was a stockbroker. So I knew about the fiat economy. I think God brought me through that path, through fiat, to crypto, to hard money, to get a better understanding of how the economy worked. And when I realized what the Federal Reserve was and what the dollar was, a debt instrument that was created to steal the economic energy and wealth of the people, man, it fell in line with my life mission to prevent what happened in my family's country to happen in my country. Because I want to
get into that. I want to get into that in a moment, because now you helped draft like every provision of this bill. So what makes it different from symbolic gestures in other states? You know, we've seen Utah and other states have come forward, but why is this bill like the real deal?
Yeah, so Florida was the 10th state to get it done, and then Texas just passed it yesterday, I think yesterday or Friday. And they're the 11th state. So now there's 11 states that have made gold and silver legal tender. Of those 11 states, only 4 have made it functional electronically. It's Florida, Arkansas, Missouri, and Texas. And what makes those 4 states different from the other states that have passed gold and silver legal tender is that people don't use gold and silver typically in transactions. You see that in Wyoming, about 30% or more are using goldbacks, merchants that are accepting goldbacks. Utah, the same thing. Goldback has done a great job. That's a fractional gold currency that's actual 24-karat gold. And they have thousands of merchants that had chosen to accept goldbacks for the payments of goods and services. So that's another fractional real way to use it. But other than that, and then just bartering with gold and silver, those laws that were passed was great constitutionally, and to elevate a very important part of making gold and silver legal tender. It elevates it from personal property and puts it at the same level as money as Federal Reserve notes, which gives it a lot more legal protections. So, you know, that's a question that really comes up. Why do we have to push something that's already constitutional. I mean, if you don't know the history of what's happened with gold and silver, then the easiest way to explain it is right now, gold and silver transactions are considered barter transaction. It's personal property, and there's tax implications when you use gold and silver when it's not legal tender. So the difference between what we've done with Florida, Texas, Arkansas, and Missouri is we've made gold and silver, which is a form of money that we've used for millennia, it caught up to the 21st century. So now you can use a debit card. You can transfer gold and silver electronically. You can have a POS system at a merchant store, scan your QR code and pay, with gold saving the merchants 200 to 300% on transaction fees for credit card transaction fees. So what it does, it allows the normal person to use gold and silver in daily transactions versus before they'd have to go out and buy gold and silver. That could be
okay. So
people,
I want to go deeper into the practical mechanics of it, but if you could see on your screen there, it looks like an individual. I just searched this up on X, found this post. Looks like a person's pulling some goldbacks. Is this what goldbacks are? It's literally.
Yeah, this is a gold-backed wallet, and it's really gold. I mean, I have a.
Oh, you have one. I
have several. Yeah, I have a bullion business on the side, so I have quite a few goldbacks. But yeah, this is the Florida goldback. So goldback has a contract to make goldbacks for every state. So there's Utah, New Hampshire. I think there's six states right now that have goldbacks. But yeah, I mean, the smallest denomination is a half goldback. This is worth around $3.30 right now. So
okay, so let me just ask you this. So what? Okay, what you're holding there on screen, that's a goldback, and that's actually a weight of gold.
Yeah.
Correct?
At the bottom it says 1/2000th of a troy ounce, 24 karat gold. And underneath that, it says exchangeable by Goldback Inc. and U.S. gold coin to bearer on demand. So not only is it gold, it's a negotiable instrument, which means you can turn in 2,000 of these and they'll give you a U.S. minted coin.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the practical mechanics. You're just going into that. Starting July 1st, 2026, how can Floridians actually use gold and silver for taxes, commerce, and savings?
So if the law is not compulsory, it gives the state the permission to accept gold and silver electronically. So if a municipality, county, state, or public university chooses to accept gold and silver for payments of debts and dues, they would have to first open up a public depository. A qualified public depository, in layman's terms, is basically a credit union or bank that's authorized to hold public funds of the state. Once they do that, they will be clear to accept only electronic gold and silver. They didn't really put a provision for physical, which is something we can do in the future. But essentially, let's say like Indian River County, which is the county near me, you can go to your local municipality and then pay your property taxes with digital gold and silver with a debit card, or if they have a POS system, you can scan the Q card and pay with gold and silver. When it comes to merchants, right now, there's hundreds of merchants that accept goldback or gold and silver for purchase. In fact, there's like 8 businesses where I live that accept it. And you can pay for your coffee. I've done that before. And if you give goldbacks that are worth more than the bill, they give you change. Goldback has a calculator for merchants. You just put in the bill total, how many goldbacks they need to pay, and then what in fiat currency you remit as change. So it's very practical, very easy. The technology in the gold and silver industry is there. You know, our organization right now, we represent 14 gold and silver companies in the industry that want to see the sound money movement progress and are very interested in the work that we're doing, not just across the country, but we are getting interest from other countries like Ireland. We have a meeting with somebody in Ireland, Australia, Germany. They see what's happening in Florida, and they're reaching out to us wanting to bring sound money legislation to their countries. So it is a revolution, like the Ron Paul revolution, but it's the sound money revolution. Wow. It's just sparking, and it's incredible. And I truly am humbled to be a part of it right now. And if it wasn't for everybody before us that laid the groundwork and educated and worked hard, this wouldn't even be possible.
No, I remember Edward Van Nothaus and his Liberty Dollar, and how he was trying to incorporate that coin, that round, the silver round, into the the economic system. He got in a lot of trouble for it. They hated him for it. They prosecuted him for it. They confiscated all of his gold and his silver in that organization. And now we've got this goldback. Can you how is this goldback different from like the Liberty dollar, for example?
Yeah. So the problem with the Liberty dollar, it violated a USC code, 18486. I'm paraphrasing it. Maybe you can pull it up. But it basically says, unless authorized by law, if anybody utters or attempts to use any gold coin or silver coin and pass it off as U.S. dollars or U.S. coin, you could be federally imprisoned for up to 5 years or pay a fine of $10,000 or both. So because he was passing it off and putting $20 on the silver coin and trying to pass it off as U.S. Legal tender just through his marketing, that's what got him in trouble. No, if he would have done this, what we're doing, gone state to state to the individual legislatures and said, hey, let's make gold, silver coinage legal tender. They got it done. He could do that because the first few words of that USC code says unless authorized by law. So it was a private company minting gold and silver rounds, and it said $20 on there, but it was authorized by that state. He would have been fine. But the problem is he did it completely private, put $20, and I would even recommend not putting $20 or any dollar sign or making it seem like it's a official U.S. minted coin, because even that could get him in trouble. But if he would have just done it the way that we're doing it, he would have been fine.
This is 1 troy ounce of 24 karat gold, broken down into goldbacks. We've got the 50s, the 25s, the 10s, 5s, 1s. If you add them all up, you get to an ounce of gold. Now this is also 1 troy ounce of 24 karat gold. It's an American gold buffalo. Very cool coin here. If you wanted to spend gold, to use gold as a currency, which would be easier, this gold coin or all of these goldbacks? I think it's pretty easy to see the goldbacks win in a barter situation. I can break them down way more times than I can this gold coin. But the question a lot of people have is, how do you know that the gold is in the goldbacks?
My name is Adam Trexler. I'm the founder and president of Valorum. We manufacture the goldback using Aurum technology. So when we talk about the gold in a goldback, I'm always asked, how do I know that the gold is there? The answer starts with the underlying technology where we're building up a thin layer of gold, atom by atom, and we very precisely control that. As we're doing it, as we're making multiple passes and building up those gold atoms, we are constantly checking the thickness as that process goes. Then, after we're done, we shoot an X-ray all the way through the gold, and we're able to check both purity and the thickness and verify that the batch is good. From there, we do another quality control check, and we do a fire assay of bills where we actually melt the gold down, recover it, and weigh it using a very precise scale. And that becomes the basis for establishing that every production run of goldbacks has that amount of gold that we guarantee is in there. Our final check is that we regularly check our own test methods against ISO certified processes and using COMEX certified independent laboratories where they recover the gold themselves from the goldback and verify its content. And that 4-stage process is how we have confidence that every goldback reaches the consumer with the precise amount of gold that we guarantee is in it. The goldback has numerous anti-counterfeiting features built into it. Most of them, if you look at this 50, are embedded in the very way that we print. So it might look like a recurring pattern, but all of these features, from the background in the sky, this strip here, the border, the fine mesh underlying this banner, are all very complicated crystallizations and tessellations that are used by governments in currency to assure the difficulty of counterfeiting. That's not all, though. The reverse of the goldback, this pattern, and the built-in textures that you can see on the reverse are all an atomic deposition of gold, so that the actual gold is structured with those complex patterns built into them, including the serial number. That patented government-level security package is extraordinarily difficult to counterfeit. You would need programs the public doesn't have access to. You would need tremendous capital to deposit gold. You would then need to have our unique formulae, and then you would need to be able to put it together in a package. And we strongly believe that this is the most difficult to counterfeit product available in the precious metals market today.
I just spoke about the gold-backed dollars just the other video. As you can see right now, there are states turning to those gold-backed dollars to start using as a real currency. Something to think about. Anyways, I'm curious to see what you guys think. I look forward to it. I'll catch you later. I'm out.